Hey guys, welcome back. We are about to make a decision that is going to change our daughter's life permanently, and we're hoping that it will be the right one.
Before we get into that, we are going to play a game. We're always going to do this here on the podcast. We're going to laugh first. Sometimes life is heavy as a medical parent, a special needs parent, or trauma survivor, whatever you've been through. And we want this podcast to be a place where you can come and you can have permission to laugh. So we're always going to start out with a fun segment. And it's not always going to have anything to do at all with our topic. So today's topic is going to be about our daughter. But before we do that, we're going to do one of our favorites, which is agree to disagree, or agree or disagree.
Yep.
Okay. I'm reading the first one. If you leave a voicemail instead of a text, we cannot be friends. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Why? You
Because
like when people leave you voicemails?
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
I don't mind. I mean, I have to do it for work anyways.
No. I'm talking about like friends, like, or your wife. Like, let's say I call you, you don't answer, and I leave you a voicemail.
I'd listen.
That would bother you. No, you wouldn't.
I would. I absolutely would. I'm a people person.
I would not listen to a voicemail if you left it.
That's fine. I'm a people person.
What does that have to do with it?
I like to hear people's voice. It just is what it is.
If you left me a voicemail, I legitimately wouldn't listen to it.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you one every day.
Please don't.
So if I leave you one that tells you how much I love you every day, you're just gonna leave it?
Yes, I'd rather have a text.
Ooh. Okay.
Please send it in a text message.
No, thank you. I'd rather say it.
Or a voice memo.
I'd rather say it as quickly.
How about a voice memo?
I could do that.
Voicemails are for people I don't want to talk to.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want to know how many I have? Because we did the whole, like, how many text messages does Rachel have? You're pretty close, 218.
Yeah. Mm.
Let's see where my messages are at today. Oh, I can't. I'm on Do Not Disturb. Doesn't tell me. Womp womp. Yeah, no. I think that voicemails are a thing of the past. They were like a big deal when we were kids, 90s and 80s or whatever. Well, 90s, early 2000s. You remember answering machines, and then it became voicemail. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. I remember even before voicemail was a big thing. Like
the answering machine.
It took my grandmother forever to
What do you mean?
get voicemail. And all of that.
We didn't get voicemail for a while, I don't think.
Yeah.
I feel like voicemail came along with the cordless home phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
I don't.
At least that's my memory.
I can't remember because my memory of her having that, she didn't get a cordless one until.
Well, what about your parents?
Later. I know we did. I know we got a cordless one.
Yeah, but voicemail answering machine, like.
I remember that we did have one. I think it was in the centralized kitchen. I'd have to verify with mom and dad on that, but it was in the kitchen. That's where the voicemail was. But I remember we had another phone too that was in mom and dad's room at some point that they added on as well. I
actually don't think we had an answering machine. Mom and dad can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we never had an answering machine. We went straight to voicemail. You are up next. Okay. No one listening to this, leave me voicemails. Although, with that being said, I have a couple from mom, dad. Mom and dad can leave me voicemails. Like, their generation, it's acceptable.
So you'll listen to theirs, but not mine?
I saved them.
But not mine?
No.
Okay.
No. But I saved mom and dad's.
Okay.
And Ariana left me one a long time ago when she was like 10, and I still have it.
Okay.
But yeah, don't send me one.
Okay, interesting.
I love you.
You don't.
I do. I hear your voice every day. I don't need it in a voicemail.
Yeah, well, one day that may not be the case. You know.
Oh, right. That's dark.
It wasn't trying to. I'm just saying you never know.
You're next.
All right. Let's see. Agree to disagree with this one.
No, agree or disagree.
That's what I said. Agree or disagree.
Yeah. You said agree to disagree, but it's cool.
I said a word.
Read.
All right. Watching the same show you have already seen makes you a psychopath.
100% agree.
I disagree.
I know you do. I wrote these.
I disagree hard.
Okay, what show would you rewatch?
Longmire.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. But why? You've seen it. You know what's going to happen. What's the point?
I like it.
But why? You've already seen it.
It's no different than The Office or Friends.
I don't really rewatch those.
Watching that a bunch of times just to laugh.
I don't do that.
Just because you've watched it before does not mean you remember every single thing that happened.
I don't.
So.
Something like The Office or... Okay, let me make one exception.
Here we go.
Let me make one exception. Mm-hmm. Sitcoms. Those are meant to be watched and rewatched. That's just kind of the nature of them. They're meant to sort of... They're not as, like, so many things happen at one time. It's like they're drug out over so many seasons. I mean, how many seasons did Friends have, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, had a bunch. That Seinfeld,
With
like
that
a
being
bunch
said,
of
I
those
don't
different
I don't
ones.
rewatch sitcoms. I actually don't do that.
So are you trying to change it then instead of
I'm
movies
saying I
to
still
shows?
agree. I'm saying shows make you a psychopath. Sitcoms are okay. And I'm separating them because I can. This is my podcast.
Okay. All right.
And if you rewatch a movie, you're also a psychopath.
I disagree.
Well, you know, I guess you're a psychopath.
Okay. Well, I guess your kids are too because they like rewatching
100%.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, we already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not new information.
Okay.
Like, point proven.
Okay. So you feel that way during Christmas time too with Christmas
Yeah, I
movies?
hate rewatching them, actually. It's an obligatory tradition.
Interesting.
How many times have I tried to escape when we start watching a Christmas movie? Family, like sit down and watch a Christmas movie.
I have no idea. I hadn't really noticed. But I guess I will now.
I try to leave. Like, I just don't,
I
like,
guess your family will too.
I'll make one exception on this one. Home Alone. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Home Alone and Elf.
You can't
No, I
just
do. It's my
keep making
podcast.
exceptions.
I do. It's my podcast.
It's also mine.
Home Alone and Elf. But we're talking more so like Netflix series, crime shows, action, drama, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know. Nope. If you've seen it, you don't need to see it again.
I can't help you.
I know. No one can.
Can't.
All right, oh, no. I'm up next.
It is me. No, it is me.
No, it's me. Oh, it is you. I turned my brightness down so much I can barely see it.
Okay. Agree or disagree? It is completely normal to have a color-coded closet and folded underwear with dirty dishes on your nightstand.
Yeah, I agree because I do that.
I disagree.
You think it's abnormal?
Yeah.
Why? So you're saying I'm abnormal?
Very much so. I thought we found that out already, though.
Well, that's not nice.
Just the truth.
That's mean.
You're abnormal. You're not normal.
Well, you're abnormal because you watch shows repeatedly.
Okay, my point.
You want to rewatch Longmire that we watched 2 years ago.
I do because it's a good show.
Well, I'm not watching it with you.
Okay, you don't have to. I don't.
But it is absolutely normal and okay to have a color-coded, by the way, color-coded and organized by seasons. Closet.
Well, I just think that makes sense because it's easier to get to.
No, it just makes sense because it looks better.
The season.
I like the way it looks. I like the way it looks.
I care about how easy it is to get to it.
And folded underwear.
Okay.
Matters immensely. And organized by type. If you're a woman.
Okay.
And also simultaneously have dishes on your nightstand because I like a bedtime snack.
That's cool, but I don't know why it's so hard to just take it downstairs and put it in the sink in the morning. It's
really hard.
While you're going down to get coffee.
It's like really hard. I
don't know why.
The idea of lifting a plate when I haven't had my coffee yet is just...
What a poor life.
It's so hard.
God, it's so hard. Yeah.
It is.
You sound like your daughter.
I haven't had my coffee yet. So? I don't need to be lifting.
A plate?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Real. It's true.
It's just more work on me anyways. It is what it is.
Yeah, I bring him down eventually. Or I make Aiden do them.
Or I'll do it.
Maybe. But, I mean, it's one of those things where men like to be purposefully bad at things so that women will do them. What are you doing with your eye?
I don't know. I got something in it. It's kind of weird. Oh.
Men like to be purposefully bad at stuff. You good, bro?
I think I'm good. Keep going. I mean, I'm just going to...
Is there something in your contact?
I don't know. I might have. Okay, I think I'm good now. I think. Okay, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Freaking me out.
Well, it happens.
Okay.
There literally was something in
it. Was your contact?
Yeah.
You promise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Men like to be bad at stuff on purpose, so we don't ask them to do it again. And therefore, I like to leave my dishes so that it's just accepted that Rachel isn't going to do it, and someone else will do it for her.
My point, which is,
it's okay. It's normal.
Makes my life harder.
Yeah, well, you know what? I love you, but you do lots of things that make my life harder each day.
Like what? Work?
Yeah.
Do dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Do laundry?
All those things make my life harder. You want to know how?
How? Because you got to fold them?
Because you bring them up all the time. I worked all day. I'm so tired. And I had to cook dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How does that?
It's annoying. I love you.
Well, it doesn't make your life harder. It's just
no, it makes my life harder because I have to listen to it. It goes back to the whole like cookie thing, coitus, like whatever it is that you're wanting.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta announce what
Well, I
you're
don't
doing.
get either one of those. What
Yeah.
does it mean?
Well, there was a time in my life where I made cookies.
There was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. I'm gonna read the next one. This one's
Should she?
great. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, credit to John Christ podcast for this, but they talked about several. I don't know. It was multiple episodes ago. Sleep supportive household, and I don't know if they came up with this, but it's where I heard it first. So meaning, well, first of all, let me explain it, and then we'll do the agree or disagree.
Okay.
A sleep supportive household means, you know, your teenager is sleeping and it's noon on a Saturday and you support that because, oh, they must have needed it. And you don't wake them and you just let them sleep as long as they need to sleep. Okay. So that is a sleep supportive household. Do you agree or disagree that parents should do that?
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too.
Hmm?
I think you should come in there with symbols and you should cling them together at, let's be nice and say 10 a.m.
I had no problem letting her sleep till 10 a.m.
She slept till 2:30 yesterday.
Well, and I think that's my thing. Like, I don't
And
have.
by the way, we are not a sleep supportive household. And yes, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah,
I just want to clarify because this is extraordinarily important to me. I don't support sleep supportive households for our household. I was just too lazy to get her up. And also, sometimes I just don't want to deal with her attitude.
No, I mean, yeah, I get it. But, I mean, to me, it's they need to be on a schedule.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, one of my parents would come wake me if it was getting to a certain point. I don't remember what time. I don't remember any of that. I just remember I was woken up on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up in a sleep supportive household, and I am just fine for it.
Yeah.
Creates discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You were woken up at like probably the crack of dawn.
I mean, no, on Saturday, well, it depends. I was so involved in sports, there really wasn't a time for me to sleep in. I mean, I say that during the week, obviously, I had to get up and go to school, and then even the summer, I mean, mom and dad still had to work, so I had to wake up early and meet.
Okay, well, if there wasn't anything going on, did they ever let you sleep in?
Sometimes, and it was about 7:30 to 8:30. I think was about as late as I'd go.
Okay, so that is not a sleep supportive household.
Mm-mm.
They woke you up at 7:30 or 8:30. That was sleeping in.
No, I mean, if anything, that I'd probably say even to push that point of not doing it, Dad would come in the room and whistle.
Oh,
And if he listens to this, he knows exactly what he was doing when I was a kid, and just whistle, whistle, whistle,
no offense,
loud
Kent, but I
whistle,
hate whistling.
whistle songs, whistle all kind of stuff, and you eventually got tired of listening to it.
Oh, I don't
And
let
you'd
you
get up.
whistle. I don't let you whistle.
You'd get up.
Do I?
No, but you'd get up.
Oh, I would definitely for that.
Mhm.
Yep, I would.
It worked.
Never wake me up that way.
But
Just
I mean,
FYI.
but for real though, I mean, the truth is,
I mean, that's a good one. It's annoying for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah. Well, the truth is, I mean, it was school. It was sports most of the
School
time on
doesn't count.
Saturdays.
School doesn't count.
Okay, well, sports most of the time was on Saturdays.
I wouldn't count sports either.
Or it was, if it wasn't even sports, it was working in the yard.
We're talking about purely the attitude of, it's okay, sweetie. You must have really needed that sleep.
No.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't such a thing.
Don't do that.
Back when I was a kid.
All right, I'm next. Opting out of a shower is self-care. Calling myself out on this. I agree 100%.
Opting out of a shower is
Yeah.
what?
Self-care.
How? I'm
I'm
so
asking you,
confused.
agree or disagree? Do you think that deciding not to take a shower one night is a form of self-care? Like, meaning giving yourself a break.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be considered that.
So, agree or disagree?
I mean, I guess sometimes if you're like really tired.
Yeah. How many times in a row is acceptable?
Oh, I'd probably push it.
2?
Maybe.
To what?
That's probably about as long as I'd go without one.
You didn't give me a time.
I'd probably say 2.
Oh, push it 2. Oh, got it.
Yeah. 2 is about as long as I would say
2
would
days.
be acceptable.
2
yeah.
days. Okay.
But that's if you don't do anything though. Like that's if you're just sitting in the house, like you don't,
Mhm.
you
I'm
just
going to be
kinda
honest. I've gone longer than that
Okay.
recently, but as a regular habit. And you know why?
Mm-mm.
Because I cannot take one without Mila climbing in with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Elmo up my rear, those little like tree branch toys floating around.
Well, you bought her them.
Yes, but do you understand? the torture it is to like, I mean, I have to fight her for the spigot to wash my hair.
I'm not surprised.
It's so, I love her to death, but goodness gracious, it is not relaxing.
Well, she loves water.
I know
Don't
she
know
does.
what else to tell you on that one.
Someone needs to start letting Rachel take her showers or baths alone. Meaning, make sure she is completely oblivious to the fact that I'm in there. I mean, look, at some point she's going to be way too old, and then we are not even going to fit, nor am I going to be comfortable with it. So, like, yeah.
Yep.
Rachel needs to hide for her showers.
Okay.
And if I try to do a shower in the shower and let her in the bath, the water runs out, hot water runs out in like 4 seconds.
Yeah, 100%.
So I like to opt out for weeks at a time.
Weeks?
No.
I
don't do that.
I was like, holy moly.
It is not weeks. A week.
That's even still
I'm just
pushing.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Maybe. All right. Next. It is okay for your car to be so messy you cannot see the floorboards. Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
I figured you would.
I do.
I agree. It is okay.
I do.
Is it okay for Rachel's car to be that messy? Did I set you a trap there?
Pretty much, yeah. Because I'm the one that ends up having to clean it.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
we make the kids clean it like once every 3 years.
I still have to clean it.
Is it okay for Rachel? I want you to fall into the trap.
I know you do. But no, to me it's not.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. I'll hold that against you later.
I'm sure you will.
You should clean it.
Exactly. See, I knew that was coming. I just don't know why it's so difficult to keep it clean. That's just
because you have 3 children.
Yes.
And a wife who bring things into the car.
Why?
Well, for one thing, your wife has to drink her coffee while she takes the kids to school. Otherwise, she will wreck.
Okay. So you can't get the coffee.
No, I'm actually usually really good at getting the coffee mug out.
Okay.
Or like Mila is thirsty and wants water. I hand her my water and she drinks it till it's empty and then chunks it, somewhere. I'm not climbing into the expedition to find it when I am unbuckling her, because keep in mind, like, I have to carry her. I have to unbuckle. I think that's the main thing, at least for me, is that I have to carry her everywhere pretty much. So like if I'm unbuckling her when we get home, I have like her bag, which has like her rescue medication in it and stuff, and my bag, and then probably my water, maybe a coffee mug, maybe Elmo's if we're coming from the hospital. Okay. I don't really have any hands to get anything else. And that right there, like, I don't know that I'm going to get all of that at once. You know what I mean? So I may have to like leave the coffee mug. I got to like pick and choose. I can't hold all of that.
Well, I'm not saying you have to do it all at once. I guess I'm just wondering why you can't come in and out and grab your stuff.
It's a long walk.
Your point?
It's a long walk.
So? It's not that long.
It is.
It's really not.
It's like at least a mile.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Feels like a mile. Because I got to go inside.
Sounds like a you problem.
And then I got to put my bag down, which would mean going upstairs because that's where it typically lives. And then I have to go all the way back downstairs. And then I have to go out the front door. And then I have to go approximately a quarter of a mile to the car. And then by that point, like, I would rather just not.
So 10 steps, yeah. Okay.
So I just leave it.
Uh-huh.
So admittedly right now, when we went back to Alabama in October, and I got like the hook for the bird feeder and stuff that was in the yard of the Alabama house that still hasn't sold. It's still in the car. I'm also fairly sure there's a bag of pizza that's in there that is from that trip too.
No, all that's been gotten up.
Oh, you got that? Well, that was you got that recently.
All of that stuff was
You got that
there.
recently.
I got all that.
There's like landscaping fabric back there. I grabbed that.
I had to get the shovel out so I could get the stuff out in the backyard.
Yeah, the shovel was in there for a while.
So
I'll be honest with you. You talk about
butter.
like projectiles in a car accident. Yeah, like airbags wouldn't help us. There's so many projectiles in the car. We'd be toast.
Nope.
It's so dark. It's true though.
It's sad.
It is what it is. Actually, this is a perfect opportunity to mention this. So Mila has an MRI and a CT scan tomorrow. By the time you guys are listening to this, it would have been, you guys will be listening to this. Well, we put it up on Tuesdays. Her MRI CT is on Monday. Today is Sunday. I haven't gotten this one before. This is a new one. Medical moms, comment below if you've ever been told this. But when they call you and tell you like no food or drink past a certain period of time or whatever, she warned me about her environment in the car and making sure she can't get a hold of anything. And then she said it's happened before where a kid finds like an old French fry or something in their car seat and then they cancel it.
Goodness.
And that was actually, I was like, you know what? That's actually really, I'm glad you said that. That's a very valid point. I don't think Mila currently has French fries in her car seat, but I've never thought of that before.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really funny and really smart.
Makes sense.
She must have just had that happen.
Probably. I mean, it is a good reminder. Though.
Or it wouldn't have, she wouldn't have necessarily been aware of it since she does like the screening or whatever, but somebody probably from pre-op like called her and was like, hey, start telling parents to check their kids' car seats for food.
So what do they do if they eat one French fry though and you
cancel
don't
it.
know? Yeah, but what if you don't know?
Well, I mean, if you don't know, then hopefully nothing bad happens. But, you know, I mean, yeah, if you see them, then you got to tell them. You got to tell the anesthesiologist, and they're going to cancel it or delay it.
I bet they love that.
Oh, I'm sure it's their favorite thing.
If
any anesthesiologist or a nurse anesthetist are listening to this, which again I highly doubt, but maybe one day in the future, comment below. How much do you love that?
Yep.
Okay, you're up. I love this one.
Woohoo. Okay, teenagers are just toddlers with better vocabulary and worse judgment.
Agree.
Do you?
Yes. Do you disagree?
I do.
Seriously? Wow. Okay, enlighten me.
I think they make a lot better judgment than toddlers.
Yeah, okay, so
do.
let's take off the judgment because I actually meant to delete that part.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say teenagers are just toddlers with better vocabulary.
I can agree with that part.
Yeah. Like, they throw temper tantrums like toddlers.
Sometimes worse.
I don't know. Worse judgment, though? Like, one could argue that.
I don't know about that. I mean, they...
Toddlers can be enticed with a sucker. Teenagers just hate everyone and everything.
Well, yeah, but...
So the judgment there is teenagers just choose to hate their parents and the car door and the makeup that's spilled on the floorboard and the fact they have to wake up so early and the alarm and the whatever else that they've chosen to hate at that particular moment, their little brother. Toddlers, they don't hate. They just throw a temper tantrum. It's done, or they get a sucker, which I really wish I hadn't said that word on this pod, but it's okay. I have an extra one in the bag. Did that make any sense at all? I feel like it didn't.
It was kind of all over the place for
Yeah.
me. That's okay. But to me, they think we're idiots. So that's
Oh,
where
100%. I thought my parents were idiots too.
No.
And then I learned somewhere around my 20s that they were actually very smart and wise. And I tell our teenager all the time that one day she's going to think we're very smart and wise, and she just does like that, which is about as cute as I just made it look right there.
We'll see if it happens. We got a pretty stubborn one.
Well, my parents did too.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be an attorney one day, like I am.
I have no idea.
Throwback to last episode. I think that's actually called a callback, but I'm just new in my comedy career, comedy and law specifically. It's not paying very well.
No.
But it'll get there. Maybe after we win this Cap C Medicaid thing, someone will offer me a job because they'll be so impressed with my skills.
Okay.
Could happen.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll say, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up. There is a version of helicopter parenting that looks like advocacy, meaning like advocacy with the medical system or doctors or whatever for your child. Agree or disagree?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I guess agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
I've had to do that. I mean, I had to do it with their hearing tests. You know? Now, I mean, depending on the doctor, a lot of them are very open to collaborative conversation with the parent. But we've encountered many that are not.
Yeah.
Still, story to be... I can't wait to tell that story, and I don't know when I'll do it, solo episode or something, but I just forgot what I was about to say. That happens a lot these days. But yeah, advocacy, helicopter parenting, whatever. I've had to do it. I mean, just one perfect example of being in the hospital that time was that Mila had an infection at her IV site. She had she developed cellulitis and a blood clot. And I had to advocate and look at them and say, it's infected, or it's getting infected ad nauseum. And then they were finally like, oh, it looks infected. And I was like, yeah, you don't say. Pause for kid. Pause for kid. Speaking of suckers, said child is eating it probably as we speak. The one emergency one that I had.
Yep, getting to it.
Yeah. Okay, last one. I like this one.
Okay.
Saying you are sorry only counts if you know what you did wrong. Agree or disagree?
I don't know. Kind of go both ways with that.
Mm-hmm. Be honest.
I kind of go both ways with it.
That's because you've apologized without knowing what you did wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I didn't.
Well, then
but that
don't apologize.
Mean it ain't wrong. I just apologize anyway.
Well, that doesn't count.
Why not?
Because what are you apologizing for? You don't know.
Be nice.
That doesn't count. That's not an apology.
Why?
An apology is I am sorry. And then you have to know what you're sorry for.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be sorry.
For making you upset or whatever
No.
else.
That's not a real apology.
I disagree.
You have to know why you made me upset to be sorry.
I don't know.
You do. It's a fact.
There's plenty of times I apologize for stuff.
Oh, I'm aware. Don't think I'm not.
Even though I did nothing wrong.
Whatever you tell yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, it's not a real apology.
Okay, whatever you tell yourself, that's fine.
Do you want to have a standoff right now?
We can. It's fine.
I'm going to scrutinize every apology that you give me from here on out.
It's already done anyhow.
As it should be, because you just admitted that you're a liar.
Just add to it.
You're just a liar.
I'm not a liar.
You basically just told me that you apologized to make me shut up.
Early on in our marriage, I probably did a lot.
No, you do still.
I'd probably say.
How often do you apologize to make me shut up?
Not as much. Not anymore.
Just if you went coitus?
Not anymore. Not really. No.
I don't think I believe you.
Okay.
I'm going to start keeping a running score. Or not a score. Journal.
I'm actually doing a lot better about all that.
Are you? What are you doing better at?
Very much so.
As it pertains to apologies?
Apologizing.
Do enlighten me.
For not. Just to keep you from talking. I don't do that.
Oh,
so.
I see.
Yeah.
You still don't apologize on your own.
Sometimes it's harder than others, yeah.
Sometimes would be you don't apologize on your own 99.9% of the time.
I disagree.
I have to ask for my apologies.
Sometimes you do, yeah.
Makes me really sad.
Because sometimes I genuinely have no idea what I need to apologize for.
After 16 years of marriage?
Yeah, it's just the truth.
That is absurd.
I'm sorry.
Do I need to create a course on women?
Sure. Go ahead.
It would.
I'm not saying I'll read it, but I'll, Sure.
What if I created it as a product for the podcast and then you have to read it?
I'll read it over for you, sure.
Great.
Okay.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Claude to give me a rundown on women and then I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
And then make you read it out loud to me.
That's like really broad, though.
You need an education.
No, I don't think I do.
I think you do. You just said.
I get it.
You just admitted that you did.
I get it pretty good.
I'm working on training you, but I feel like there's still a long way to go.
You think you are.
I am.
You think you are.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I am.
I will let you continue to think that way.
I win. Always in the court of law.
Yeah. Okay.
Bet.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay. Go for it.
You want to get into the meat of this conversation?
The meat of it?
Mm-hmm.
What do we got left?
Well, just the topic.
Okay. Go for it.
So we talked about, what episode was it at this point? I'm losing track. I think it was episode 13 and this is 17. So I think it was like 4 episodes ago or so, roughly. I'll have a link right here about the diagnosis of Mila's hearing loss, our daughter. She's 5. It started with, we had a regular hearing test done and she quote unquote passed the booth, which if you're not familiar is basically when they just put the child in the sound booth or whatever, they observe, they play sounds with different frequencies, and then the child is supposed to do something depending on the age of the child if they hear the sound. Well, I was able to sit with her and I heard the sounds coming through the headphones and I called her bluff, basically, and messaged the ENT and was like, no, that's not, she didn't, I have questions. I'm not convinced of that. And brief recap, for the first 5 years of her life, she had hearing tests at a place where we were. I just stopped myself from saying it, but I want to so bad, that were always inconclusive. Okay. Anyway, so when we had it done here and I was in the booth with her and realized like something was off, I messaged the ENT and he was very collaborative, very great, awesome. And he said, yep, let's go ahead and do the sedated hearing test. And then at that point is when we discovered that she is technically partially deaf. And you can go back to that previous episode if you want all the details on that, because I'm not gonna exhaust them ad nauseum here. But technically partially deaf, sensorineural, I cannot say that word, sensory neural hearing loss. She was deemed a likely cochlear implant candidate, and we decided to go to UNC Children's Cochlear Implant Center, which is supposedly the best place to take kiddos, especially kids like Mila with complex histories and cognitive profiles and all that kind of stuff. So we had that visit this past week on, me and the girls drove up there Monday. We were put in the Ronald McDonald house, which was wonderful, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. And then we had many, many appointments on Tuesday. So we first started with the audiologist. And what was striking to me, first off, is before we even got to the hearing test portion of this visit, because she had to have they had to do hearing tests. Now, this was a booth test, and I'll explain that in a bit. But what was striking to me was the fact that the audiologist literally said something like, I'm not quoting her directly here, that her speech, listening to her talk, and just in her brief interaction with Mila, sounded pretty consistent with her ABR. She wasn't making a diagnosis or a clinical claim. She was just saying, observed, it sounds like what the ABR is showing she can't hear. Meaning the audiologist is picking up on the fact that Mila's not saying consonants when she's speaking, like S, for example. So then they put her in the booth, and this is where I was really, really, honestly, really encouraged, because Mila has technically always, quote unquote, passed a booth test, but the reliability of those tests have always been fair or questionable or whatever. Meaning she's really good at tricking people that don't know what they're doing, right? Well, she failed the booth test here at UNC Cochlear Children's, which gave me an enormous amount of comfort, because she's been in that booth many times. She's always, quote, passed it. They didn't know what they were doing, and there's a lot that we could dig into there that I'm not going to touch on. I would argue she didn't pass any of them, but on paper they wrote she passed it. But at UNC that was totally different.
Yep.
That immediately brought comfort, because I thought, okay, they finally see my child for what she is, which is she has adapted so well to her environment without hearing for who knows how long, that it is hard to detect, but they are good enough at what they do, experts, in fact, that they can pick up on it, you know? And so I immediately felt like this enormous sense of relief that when we got out of that booth and we sat down and we went over the results, the audiologist told me that those results were actually very consistent and slightly worse than her ABR. It was almost just like a weight off of my shoulders, because then at that point I was like, we're in the right place, you know, like they know what they're doing. And then the other thing that was interesting is that she told me they use, which are an ENT that we have currently doesn't, but at UNC they use a product. I believe they said it's manufactured by a company called Med-Al, but it is essentially the ability to take sound that from like when you have a cochlear implant, my understanding of it, and I'm learning a lot about this, but my understanding of it is that the sound is mechanical, like kind of robotic almost, including sound that you might have already been able to hear normally. So for Mila, that would be up to like I believe the 500 hertz is where she can hear normally. But that would make even the 500 hertz sound weird or different or like it was mechanical. And they have the ability to use, I don't remember what it's called. I want to say it's called OAE, but I could be completely making that up. But basically, it is a kind of like a hearing aid that they combine with a cochlear implant that makes it what they call acoustic. So basically just takes that mechanical sound and adds richness to it and makes it more natural. And again, that was a huge relief because at certain places that isn't an option until they are older, like middle school age is what our alternative was where we're at here in Charlotte. And nothing against them, they're just not using that product. And we don't know if middle school age she's even going to be able to, the reason for the middle school age is because they'll pull like the wires out or whatever when they're little. We don't know at middle school age if her cognitive profile is even going to be consistent with being able to have that, you know, like her middle school age may not be appropriate for that. And so that was also huge because now I'm hearing, okay, not only do they know what they're doing clearly, I've been told that, but now I'm experiencing it. And now I'm also learning that they have the ability to provide her with this acoustic enrichment to the sound that some other places don't. And I don't know which ones those are or are not. I just know currently where we're at in Charlotte, they can't, but at UNC they can. And, you know, I mean, for that specifically, like the thing I think about the most is like your voice, right? Because for her, your voice falls in a frequency that she's been hearing normally her whole life. And then if we did the cochlear implants, but not the acoustic, she would hear dad differently. And like, I'm assuming that would bother you.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, my goal is to really, you know, give her the best chance to hear what she can. And if that means she hears me a little bit different, then that's okay too. But
yeah, but would it bother you if she was like confused as to why your voice all of a sudden sounds completely different than what she's used to? And you didn't have a way of explaining it to her?
I mean, if I knew that, probably.
Well, it would be. That's the fact.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, for her, though, I don't know if it would matter to her, is what I mean.
I don't know. I think she would be a little bit weirded out by it.
She may. I don't know. And it may take a little bit of getting used to. But if I knew, though, that she's able to hear better, okay, and we have a little adjustment period, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
I think the thing to think about there is that she would hear better at certain frequencies, but worse at others. Not necessarily volume, but quality. Is my understanding.
Okay.
And she has good normal hearing up to 800. And so, you know, that I don't know. I mean, that would bug me a little bit because it's already a massive change in a child that doesn't have the ability to understand it. And then you add in the fact that what they have heard normally their entire life is now different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta be, without the ability to communicate with her, that's gotta be shocking.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
And stressful. I don't know. And because of her cognitive profile, which we talked about in episode 12, I believe it was, I'll link it here. She doesn't have the ability to understand. And we don't have the ability to tell her.
Yep.
And so that was huge. And then we talked about with the audiologist who deferred ultimately to the ENT, but I will tell you what she told me of her understanding of the healing process. And again, like I said, she wasn't saying this as a medical provider. She was saying, this is my understanding. You'll have to discuss it with the ENT. And that was just that there is a period of time where Mila will wake up from the surgery with the cochlear implant, and because of swelling and blood and all that kind of stuff, won't have any hearing in that ear. She said, again, deferring to the ENT, she believed it was around 2 weeks to a month or so. And you know, and I talked to the ENT about that later, as she asked me to do. But when she told me that, I thought, okay, so we've got two choices in front of us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, we had the choice of implanting both ears at the same time, minimizing anesthesia, which I hate, or doing 1 year at a time because of that. But then she has to go under both times. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and I pretty much agreed right off the bat that we should do 1 year at a time.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of concern by doing both of them, honestly, at the same time. Not that it may not be better for her being able to go down once and get it done. Problem is, if she can't hear anything, what scares me is that she's going to automatically go to those and maybe think that's the problem, like why she can't hear
Well,
something.
she won't have them on at first.
Well, there'll be something that's done to her.
I don't know. So I don't think so. So I could be wrong about this, but they don't actually turn the cochlear implants on for a little while. The swelling and all that stuff has to go down, and then you go back. They turn,
but it's still on her, though. Is what I mean. Right?
Not the magnet part.
But isn't it like
the other part's under her skin? I will fact check myself.
There's nothing she can
I don't
pull
think
on?
so.
Okay,
not at
know.
first.
Maybe that's new to me then.
Again, I will fact check myself on this.
Yeah.
There might be, but I don't think so. Because
well, then maybe I don't have a concern then, because that's where I thought that, because I thought there was something. Maybe it's just me not knowing enough. But
I don't know. I'm going to look it up really quick because now I'm curious. But
I thought there was something that was going to be there, even though it's not on. I thought it was still going to be there. And then to me, that was my first concern is, oh, well, she's at least hearing something now. And if she's got something, on both sides of her head, she's thinking, well, crap, now I can't hear anything, it may be this. And so she starts pulling on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Hopefully I am. Hopefully that's, yeah.
Let me look. Is the magnet used later when healing has occurred?
But my main concern is anyways, just her not being able to hear anything at all. Because we don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't done sign language. We haven't done any of that other stuff to be able to communicate with her, which I guess that's something we probably need to look into too. This
says nothing. At least according to chat.
Okay.
The chat, and again, I'm still going to fact check this. And if it's incorrect, I'll put a thing. But it says the child does not have anything external on yet. Only the internal device is implanted. Electrode array inside the cochlea, internal receiver, which is the magnet under the skin. So you might see a bandage swelling behind the ear, but no visible device.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's new to me. I had no idea. I thought it was just going to be there, and then.
Let me ask it. What about if they are doing acoustic? Is it what is it? Amplification? Let me see what it says.
I'm not sure.
But
regardless, the decision was made where we both wanted to do one at each time. That way to kind of see how she does, and then also to at least let her hear out of one ear.
Acoustic it's Med-El, it's Med-El, MED-EL. What happens after surgery? It's still no external device yet. Again, according to chat, at activation, this is the key difference. When they turn it on, the child receives a device that can do both. So then that's when they get no. So it says, to answer your exact question, do they have anything external at first? No, not until activation.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
So if that's true, well, yes and no. I think, so let me understand this, because my main concern was, if we do both ears, it sounds like your concern was that she would mess with stuff. My concern was that she would wake up completely deaf, hearing nothing at all. Nothing.
Well, that's my concern. I don't want her not being able to hear.
But I mean, from a stress standpoint, imagine this: you have a 5-year-old child. Normally, you would be able to tell that child in an age-appropriate way. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a period of time they're not going to be able to hear anything.
Correct.
And they may or may not have some reading ability or something like that. You can do, preparation, right? Our 5-year-old child, we are not able to do that.
That's correct.
So she would go to sleep, wake up, and have no sound whatsoever. Right. Nothing. Right. Mom talks, she can't hear. Dad talks, she can't hear. The amount of stress and the fact that can last for 2 to 4 weeks is what I was unwilling to put her under.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, we talked about it. We
No,
agreed.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
but
agreed.
you also mentioned pulling on stuff.
Yeah,
So
because
which
I
was your
thought
primary concern?
well, both of them
Okay.
are. I mean, I had immediately thought that, I mean, yes, her not hearing anything is a problem
Hmm.
because we can't effectively communicate with her now.
Yeah.
But I had automatically assumed there was going to be something there, and then they were going to eventually turn that on, or
Hmm.
when the swelling went down
Yeah.
and that got fixed, then there would be something there. What I was scared to death is that she couldn't hear anything, and that's going to
Hmm.
stress her out. And then she's going to sit there and, oh gosh, okay, I've got something here. It's probably this. I need to pull on. I need to get it out.
Mm.
That was my. So it was a two-pronged
Sure.
concern for me without knowing. Again, I didn't do enough research on it,
No, I
how
didn't
it was
look it up until just
done.
now. My
But
my hyper focus was
so,
she'll wake up and she can't hear, and
mhm,
I can't. Now,
yeah,
with that being said, she's still going to wake up and not be able to hear out of one ear.
that's right. But at
But
least she
that,
can hear though. Like I
yeah,
feel a lot better about that, even
right,
though she'll go down twice
yeah.
essentially.
Um,
So
and anesthesia sucks. Like it does. I mean, she's got to go under tomorrow. I hate it. I'm over it. But my own comfort doesn't trump the enormous amount of stress that would be for her.
yeah,
I mean, so I'll put it this way. I think she would be so stressed out during that time that we would need to ask about a temporary like anxiety medication for her.
I don't know. I don't know if I go that far.
I would. I
But
think she would be freaked out, really terrified, scared to death.
I don't know.
Imagine if you woke up tomorrow totally deaf.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. I would just,
And you couldn't read.
yeah, yeah.
It'd be scary.
But she doesn't know any different, is what I'm saying.
She
She knows the
does.
hearing, but she doesn't know the reading and all
Correct.
that.
But what I'm saying is she knows the hearing. She has some. She's not totally deaf. She has some hearing.
Mhm.
So she wakes up totally deaf.
Okay, yeah, I know. I get it. I'm
That's
just
why I
saying,
said anxiety
I
medication.
don't think that it needs anxiety
Oh,
medication for that. I disagree.
I think she would. Regardless, we quickly agreed. I think that we didn't want to do both at the same time.
Right, yeah, that was the best course of action, discussing it, 100%.
Yeah. And we chose to do, well, I kind of chose because you were having a hard time hearing with the ENT because this was later, but we opted to do her left ear first. That's her worst ear. So that will have, it'll still have impact, but it would have less impact than doing her right because her right ear doesn't hear better. Her right ear doesn't hear much better, but it still does hear better.
Right, yep.
So if you quote unquote take out her left ear, which is currently the worst,
Right.
then it has the least psychological impact
Yeah.
during those 2 to 4 weeks. And she mostly sleeps on her right side
Yeah.
because there's going to be some pain associated with that. I
Right.
mean, if you've ever had your cartilage pierced, which you have not, it's really like I couldn't sleep on that side for like a year. It's a long, now granted that has little to do with cochlear implantation, but it's the only comparison that I really have. And so, yeah, so I was like, well, I know she mostly sleeps right. I mean, to be honest, she sleeps both, but just knowing what I know when I look at her on the camera at night, she's usually on her right side, right?
Most of the time.
Um,
Yeah, because she'll hug her Tony box that she has.
yeah,
So, yeah.
she does. She falls asleep hugging her Tony box.
Yep.
I think because you take the hearing, well, she's got hearing aids right now temporarily. So when you take them out at night, now she's like holding it like up to her ear so that she can hear it.
Yep.
But so that was part of the conversation with UNC. And then, from there we did a pretty comprehensive speech and language evaluation. They recommended that we have a specific type of speech therapy that would be, attuned for children with hearing loss, which I'll talk to our current speech therapist about, who I love. If she doesn't specialize in it, then we would just use the third visit that was already recommended by the neuropsychologist to find one that does. So she would still see her regular one for 2 times a week, and then she would see one that specializes in hearing loss once a week. Or alternatively, UNC also can do a virtual speech therapy where it's mainly geared towards teaching the parent.
Yeah.
I would prefer more like one-on-one with Mila if we can find somebody that specializes in it, or hers may, and I just have to ask her. So that was part of that conversation. And then we moved on from there into I'm trying to think, ENT. We had a little bit of a break took her to a playground. Fun story. I can, I guess, tell this part, break up some of the medical stuff. But I was, again, like, Rachel's so smart. I'm going to take her to a playground, right? In between, we've got some time to kill. I think we have an hour or so. Loves playgrounds. She loves playgrounds. Okay.
She does.
She loves being outside. She loves being at the playground. I found one nearby before we, had her appointment. We had, in my defense, we had like an hour. Okay. That backfired hard. Like, I would have been better off sitting in the car with her for an hour.
Probably.
Playing Moana 2 on the speakers than doing that. And I hate that. But what ended up happening was when it was time to go and I had to get her into the car, I've never seen her like that before. Like, I literally still have like a bruise from her fighting me so hard and would not get in her seat.
Yeah.
I was like convinced that someone was going to think I was kidnapping her or something. I mean, it was bad. And it was very upsetting. And again, it's like, you don't have the ability to explain it. If I hadn't have been like, we were running out of time. So I would be late to the ENT if we didn't hurry up and get her in the car. Right. And I wasn't anticipating it. So I didn't plan extra time for this.
Yeah.
And, therefore I didn't have time to let her like regulate herself. Right. You know what I mean? I couldn't just let her hang out in the car for a few minutes or whatever and get it out of her system.
Right.
So it took me and Ariana, our older daughter, like I had to not hurting her, but had to like hold her in such a way that she couldn't get out of her car seat so I could get just one thing buckled. And I knew if I can just get one thing buckled, I can get the other.
Right.
And, goodness gracious, I'm sure any other parents with kids that are neurodivergent or whatever have probably encountered this before, but it was brutal. It was brutal. It would have stressed you out a lot. I'm glad you weren't there for that.
I mean, it is what it is.
I know, but it was upsetting.
Yeah.
It was upsetting. It was one of those moments where I was like, okay, Rachel, do you cry right now? And like call and I almost did. I almost called and canceled. I was that desperate. I almost called and was like, we can't even get her in the car. Like it was that bad. But anyways, long story short, got her in the car. I guess I did play Moana too, because I think she calmed down and, we got to the ENT and she did fairly well, I guess at that point. I did put her weighted vest on. As soon as we got out of the car, weighted vest, Elmo's, stroller, happy as a clam. Because you know how much she loves that stroller with her Elmos in it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We said in one of the previous podcast episodes, last podcast episode actually, like if we're in a long parking lot or whatever, hospital, anything like that, like we'll use a stroller. She's doesn't understand walking safely and whatnot, and so in this instance, we needed a stroller. Elmos usually come along on some of these
I'd say
harder visits, and she tolerates the stroller great. And then once we get in there, the stroller becomes a toy where she puts Elmo in it and she pushes Elmos, actually, there's two, around. And so it went well. That combined with the weighted vest accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Now with the ENT, I'll make this part fairly brief, but ultimately it was determined that her eardrums don't look normal totally. She's had 2 sets of tubes in her life. Why do you keep looking at the computer? You always do that.
I don't know. It always scares me that it's not recording.
It's recording. Can you stop looking at it? It looks so weird in editing.
God, it always scares me.
Okay, well, just like, please don't look at it. We're going to turn it away next time. Okay. It looks weird in editing. It does. Okay, I love you, but like, please stop. Crossing your arms.
Whoa, okay.
I pick up on this. This is like a universal sign of being frustrated.
I didn't know I couldn't.
Nope, you can't.
Okay.
No crossing of the arms in this podcast.
Okay, fair enough. All right, keep going.
Please.
Come on. You were in the middle of talking and then you just got off track.
Please.
You're going to have to go back.
You got me off track. You looked at the computer and then you crossed your arms. Say please.
Okay, please.
Okay. I will continue. So she had 2 sets of tubes and they've recently fallen out as they are supposed to do. And she has had 2 ear infections. She's been sick twice and she's had 2 ear infections, like both times. So now we're looking at basically what the ENT said was, if we go in and do the cochlear implant and she has fluid and it's infected, then he has to decide, do I move forward with this surgery because then it's an infection risk.
Yep.
So we decided, and ultimately what he recommended and what we agreed with was he's going to first do a separate surgery to do a third set of tubes. It's going to be a longer lasting set of tubes. It can cause more damage to the eardrum, which can impact hearing, but at this point that doesn't matter. And so she will be going under anesthesia 4 times, CT MRI tomorrow, tubes, left ear, right ear.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be pretty back to back. The thing that stinks about that is it's going to be all while we're also fighting, or I'm also fighting the Medicaid stuff.
Yep.
So that's going to be really, really stressful. Anything you want to add? I know you hate the medical stuff.
Not really. No, I'm good.
Um,
That was all of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I wanted to touch on the Ronald McDonald House thing because that
Okay.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We were put in Ronald McDonald House, and so we stayed there 2 nights. Honestly, like the place is amazing. They feed you. You know, it doesn't cost anything, and we were just really humbled to be there. I know that we'll be back, and you know, I mean, does it stink that we have to go back? Yes, but are we grateful for the services? Absolutely. One thing that was really cool was I went down one morning to get some breakfast for the girls. Well, let me back up. Most importantly, to get coffee for myself. Second most important was to get breakfast for the girls.
Okay.
And they were doing a pancake breakfast. And so there was a bunch of people there cooking. Like one of them was the board member. And then this man showed up and told me that his name was Owie Osterkamp. I believe I'm saying that right. And he's the CEO of the Ronald McDonald House Triangle area, which I believe, I don't know, you're in North Carolina real estate-ish. Like, is that Triangle area is like Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, that's not my area, but yeah, it is.
But you know enough.
It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think he's the CEO over 3. And so I met him and he was like, how do you feel about pictures? And I was like, I'd rather not be any. That was what I first said. And then he told me the reason why he was asking was he wanted to feature me and Mila in the weekly newsletter that he sends out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, can't say no to that, right?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, absolutely. Really kind of him to offer to want to feature us, and humbled by that. He took a picture of us. He asked me to send him just like a blurb about our story. I sent it to him. I put a PS, you know, this is not for your newsletter unless you feel that you want to include it, but
Right.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our podcast. And he was kind enough to include that in the newsletter, which was really honestly above and beyond.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
that meant a lot. I'm still kind of in shock about it.
No.
It was really cool. He even watched one of the episodes. Actually, I don't know if I told you this in the email. So the episode he watched was like a Q&A we did, and you asked me if I was picky.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he forwarded me the newsletter that he had sent out, he said, P.S. I guess we shouldn't host a green bean or crab leg night
It's funny.
for you.
That's hilarious.
And I commented back something like, I'm great. Well, I'd be grateful. Like, I'll just DoorDash.
I'd be all for it.
I know. I think I did tell him like you'd be all about it.
I would be.
I said something. I mean, I never want to appear. I think I said something to the effect of I would never complain about food provided that like 99.9% of Americans like.
Yep.
I think that was my response.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. They are feeding you breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
If you've never stayed at the Ronald McDonald House before and you're curious, or if you want to get involved, which you should if you want to, if you feel called to, if you have the time to, typically they will have volunteers come in and cook. Or the night we got there, they had McDonald's. Not ironically, it's Ronald McDonald. I guess if they don't have volunteers set up or whatever, I don't know. And then so that's dinner, and then breakfast, same deal.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they'll have somebody cook, or they'll have like a continental style breakfast. And then lunch is grab and go. So they'll put things in a fridge. It says like grab and go. You can grab like sandwich stuff or leftovers from breakfast or dinner, put in there. And then they have a family fridge where you can keep your own food with your name on it, you know, and that's yours. I don't think I would hope no one staying at Ronald McDonald House is stealing people's food out of the family fridge.
I would hope not.
But, and then they have a community fridge where they have milk, eggs, and I don't know if this is the case for all of them. This is just Chapel Hill. where they have milk, eggs, various staple items like that. And then they have like a community pantry where they have canned stuff, ramen, noodles, like little microwavable macaronis, like little, the little craft bowls or whatever.
Yeah.
They had oranges, which Mila's obsessed with.
Yep.
The mandarin, baby mandarin oranges. She calls them ohms.
Yep. Ohms.
Bananas, stuff like that. And stuff that you, if you want to, can cook your own dinner. And so they have rice, baking goods. They have a lot of stuff for birthday cakes if a child has a birthday while they're there.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And then honestly, like beyond that, just stuff for the kids. They had that STEM room, which was the coolest room. Mila loved it. They have I think I told you about this. They have there's like a fan. There's a net over it so little ones can't put their fingers in it.
Yep.
And then there is like a plastic tunnel that's maybe like, I don't know, 2 feet wide and 7 feet tall. And there's just enough room to where you can put something underneath in between the fan and the tunnel. And it's, so for instance, like paper cones, and they're provided, they're in the room. So Mila would take literally like 12 paper cones and like try to like hold all of them. Okay. Squishing some of them, which then creates static and they get stuck. And then she would try like her best to like keep them all held together so that she could place them all on the fan at the same time. And then they would just go like up the tunnel. And then once they go out, they fly out of the tunnel and go everywhere. And then she played that thing for forever. At one point she did flatten one of them. It got stuck to the side with static. And she's like, Mama, help. Mama, help. So I'm like trying to like reach my hand like all the way up in this 7-foot tunnel to try to get this little cone out. They had these other little things that were like, they're, goodness gracious, I'm gonna find the brand of this because this was so cool, and I'll put it down below. But they are cars. They're on these little chargers, but they come with these silicone pads, and the green, they have different colors. There's a green one, which like makes the car go. So if you put the little car on the green silicone pad, it'll go dun, 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 and then it'll take off. Okay. And then they have other colors. They have like pink, purple, blue, green, and they all do different directions for the car. They also have cards where it can explain how you can create like a little course for the car. This should come as no surprise to you, but Mila's favorite thing was to put it on the green one and then have it go to one that just spins in a circle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she did that like a bunch.
Yep.
So one of them just like literally like the car spins or whatever. And so it would start out on the green, it would go to the thing and it would go, and then obviously like,
stay there.
And she had the time. I mean, like it was, she thought it was the coolest thing ever. And they had all kinds of stuff. They had a giant light bright, like the size of the giant headboard in here, like on the wall.
That's cool.
And in fact, I think OE told me they were about to redo that room, is my understanding of it. Yeah. And then the other thing that was really cool, really sweet, super awesome. Donate to this if you can. I hope we are in a position to one day. But each child gets like a free, at Chapel Hill at least, when you leave, they have like a free toy that they can get.
Yep.
So when we were leaving, I had my teenage daughter with us and then Mila, and so they were each able to pick out something. They had gift cards for the teenager, but the lady unlocked the door to that room. I mean, like, oh my goodness, there is so much stuff in there.
I can imagine.
Unbelievable. Like Barbie dolls, like you name it, it's there. Okay. And these are not cheap toys. Of course, Ariana and Mila both beeline to the Barbies because Ariana taught Mila to like Barbies. And so she has really enjoyed like helping, like she really enjoys buying Barbies for Mila. So she went straight to the Barbies to try to help Mila pick out one. Mila found Moana.
Yep.
That was her decision.
Yep.
I showed her two. There was like one with doggies, one with Moana. And I was like, do you want this one or that one? She goes, that one, that one. And so she got Moana. And then Ariana had the opportunity to choose a gift card, but she decided she wanted to get Mila another Barbie. Yeah, so she got her the doggy. Yeah, she got her the doggy set. Yeah. She got her the dog set. But that's just another really, really cool thing that they do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and you seeing it.
Yeah,
being able to experience some of that. Just a really cool experience. Yeah, very humbling to be there. You know.
Yeah, and very appreciative.
Yeah, and be the recipients of something like that. So, absolutely. Shout out to them. Shout out to OE. Shout out to the Ronald McDonald House in general and the Ronald McDonald Triangle. I'll tag their social media down below. With that being said, we're going to call this whole journey Mila's journey to hearing. So I've created a hashtag just so that if anyone wants to follow it, or if this podcast eventually is a thing one day with more than, 36 subscribers, which by the way, please subscribe if you're listening. Mila's hearing journey, should bring up stuff.
100%.
And yeah, follow along. We just posted the video of when she had her hearing aids turned on for the first time. Yep. We made an exception on that. We don't generally share her, but we talked about it, decided it was special, wanted to share it. That was really sweet.
Yep, it was.
That was really cool. Got anything else on that?
That was it. Just appreciative of all of it. Looking forward to going myself when I can.
I'm looking forward to you meeting the team too,
Yep.
They're awesome.
Yep. I don't doubt it at
Everybody
all.
there was really great.
Yeah.
With that being said, she'll have hearing aids until, I wonder if she can wear them after the cochlear implant or if it would even do anything.
I don't know. That's a question for them. I'd have to check with them and see.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't really know.
With that being said, we'll close on something we like to call the quiet part, or like a quiet thought, something that we don't really say out loud. You're not on your phone. Do you know what yours is? Oh, you've got it right there.
I got it. I didn't even write mine down. I don't need to.
You know it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
So.
Well,
Yep.
If I could ever find mine, there it is. Nope. What?
The
There it is.
bottom.
I found it. Yeah. Okay. I'm afraid something's going to go wrong and we'll have made the wrong decision. The reason is because I think he said 50-50 chance that she loses all hearing completely with the cochlear implant, though it doesn't matter because they're doing it. Yep. Right? So meaning when they drill into the cochlear bone, cochlea, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Did he say 50-50? I think he did.
I don't know. You told me 50-50.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'll have to go back and look at his clinical notes, and I will fact check again down below if I'm wrong. Yeah. But it was I feel like it was a fairly high percent. Mm-hmm. Because they're kind of destroying that bone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so there's a high likelihood that it essentially makes the person completely deaf without the implants.
Right.
And so my fear is that happens and then something goes wrong with the implant. And I don't even know if that's a risk. I would have to assume it is.
I have no idea.
I don't either, but that's what I'm afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid of putting her through all of this when hearing aids alone could be good enough. And she likes her hearing aids, actually. She wears them really well.
Yeah, she did good today, too.
I mean, she keeps them on pretty much all day.
Yeah.
And that is amazing, considering she is 5 years old. She doesn't understand. Yeah. She's never had to wear them before.
Yep.
They are really, I think she's really enjoying finally being able to hear her environment.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I do worry about that. Do you?
Sure. I mean, a little bit. Yeah. If it's 50-50, I mean, there's always that chance. So yeah, I mean, of course, there's always some hesitation.
I'm not so much worried about the 50-50 as I am the 50-50 and then any risk that might be associated with the implant not working. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, but yeah. I mean,
I probably shouldn't look it up.
A 50% chance of her having no hearing at all does worry me. I'm not going to lie to you, but yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a 50% chance of her having no hearing at all. It's a 50% chance of her having no hearing, if it's 50, of her having no hearing without the implant once they move forward. Right. Meaning, by that point, even if that happens, it doesn't matter because she has the implant.
Right.
So it's not necessarily that we are faced with a 50-50 shot of her having no hearing. Mm-hmm. She's getting the implant. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm scared there's a risk that I don't know about, which I'm sure they'll talk to us about. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to look it up. But I'm scared there's a risk that something goes wrong with the implant itself, doesn't work, or whatever. And then she is of that 50% that can't. The implant doesn't work, and now she's deaf. That's what I'm scared of.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if that's a legitimate fear. I really don't.
I don't know. I trust them on that. I really do. I trust them to make sure all that stuff's handled. There's nothing we can do on that.
No.
So
well, there is. which is not to do it and do hearing
Well,
aids.
yeah, but I'm talking about we've decided to do it.
No, I
so.
know. I'm just
So,
saying
At this
there's
point,
still a
it's
choice.
trusting them and moving on.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
you're not worried that we're making the wrong decision?
I mean, there's always a hesitation there, especially when it comes to it. But I mean, I feel confident based on the options that we have that we're making the right decision that's best available at this current time.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
I wish there was a way that we could know what she can hear with the hearing aids.
Mhm.
Like, I know that the audiologist could probably tell us confidently what she can hear.
Maybe.
I just wish there was a way that we could experience it for ourselves, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
To
just,
know,
yeah.
like, how far off is it?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because then that might eliminate, like, it might be so different than normal hearing that it would
Sure.
be easy to say, absolutely not. It's not an option.
Yeah. Yeah. The hearing aids will work just fine. We'll just keep with them. But
No,
yeah,
I mean,
don't
like,
know.
it might be, the hearing aids might be so bad
Mm.
compared to what we hear normal, like
Okay,
what's
yeah.
normal hearing.
Yeah, I guess so.
That then we say, oh, well, the hearing aids are not an option.
I guess so. I guess I wish I could hear what
Yeah.
she hears without any of that first, so I can
Like
get a
this.
baseline.
She said she's probably hearing like this.
Right, but I mean, that's the best.
But with the
guess.
hearing aids, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best guesstimate though. So I don't know.
The only thing I do know is that the hearing aids are not accessing the frequencies that are profound.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that don't exist, that she can't hear at all, the hearing aids don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, those are the ones that can only be heard with the implant.
Right.
You looked at the computer again.
I'm just crossing my legs. I've got to change position.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
It's all good.
And yours to close it out?
Mine is that I am worried that we are never going to get any rest again. Like
Again,
full
ever?
Rest. Yep.
Like
Full
for the rest of our lives?
Mhm.
Why?
That there's always going to be something.
Oh.
Yep.
Unpack that a little bit.
Well, I mean, it just means that right now it's Mila, in the future it may be something else, and then it may be something else after that, and then it may be something else. There's just no.
Well, that's how it's been.
I know, and that's all I've got.
Yeah.
So that's
Starting to
what
be
I
a
mean.
pattern.
Yeah, it's becoming a pattern, and I mean, we're both tired.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's going to be first of all, we're medical parents. She's medically complex. Kind of always have kind of always has been, but as she gets older, the gap is widening, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and more diagnoses have been discovered now that she has better care.
Mm-hmm.
With a child with medical complexity or special needs or both, I think that kind of ebbs and flows, and I think that there's a point in which it will become somewhat of our new normal.
Well, that's really what it is. I want to know the new normal. Just let me get to that so that I can try to best plan what we need to do going forward. Because
Yeah.
right now there's not.
Yeah,
And so, right now it's all about,
it's just upheaval.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's getting Mila the stuff that she needs. I mean, still the other kids have got stuff they need, all that done. You got stuff you need. I got stuff I need.
I need a
Dogs got
lot.
stuff they need.
Nala
what I
needs a
mean.
nail trim. The dog.
Well, that's my point, though, is that there is those type of, I mean, those things you're going to have. I just need us. I'm just worried we'll never get to that normal and be able to, like, start and put structure into place, right, in the house. Because I feel like right now there's no structure. And,
There's more than there was a couple months ago.
well, yeah, I mean, we're doing the best we can. But what I'm saying is that right now the structure we've got, it's just, we can't live like this the
Right.
rest of our life. The structure that it is now, because there's really not much.
But we
I mean,
might
it's-
have to
it's
some
better.
extent.
Well, and again, we're not promised that. I understand that. I get that. But and
Meaning,
it may be.
meaning having a child with medical complexity, we may have these like up and downs. You know.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
I just wish I could see there's rest on the horizon, and I'm just afraid we're never going to get that.
I think our rest may not be physical.
May not. I don't know.
I think it's gonna have to be peace with God.
I don't know.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this. In one podcast episode, I think you mentioned something like that, and I said, "Soft warning: she does have a hearing test coming up." Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
That keeps sticking in my mind.
I don't.
I don't remember what episode it was, but I literally said, well, just a soft warning. She does have a hearing test coming up, and we don't know what the results of that are going to be. So there may be a little bit of a period of time where we have new stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember me saying that?
I don't.
Yeah.
I sure don't. And it's not that, like, when we do these things, like, I understand, like, there's
Yeah.
going to
No,
be
I know.
these different changes. I just mean at some point, like, holy crap, I just want to just rest for just a little bit, you know?
I really hope with the fact that I'm such a good attorney, we win Medicaid and then we get Cap C. We have the services that come with that. She gets cochlear implants. You know, we have the nursing support if we need it with the healing process and all of that kind of stuff. All the services that provides. And then, you know, maybe at that point, that's when life starts to look a little more structured.
Yep. I hope so.
I hope so.
Yep.
But
so, I mean, that's my thought. That's my worry.
Yeah.
So that's the truth.
Yeah. And neither one of our worries have a guarantee.
Nope. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, that's all we've got.
Yep.
I have no idea what we're doing next episode, so stay tuned.
Okay. We don't know what we're doing half the time anyways.
That is not true. I have far more planned than you realize, sir.
Okay. I'm glad.
I have episodes like planned. I just don't remember which one is next week.
Okay. You got
Okay. And sometimes if something happens, like it changes, you know, like I might shift them around. Like the Medicaid one last week was supposed to be so a couple weeks from now. And I was like, well, perfect timing, moving it.
Yep.
You know, so. And this episode wasn't part of the plan. I made this one because it was, again, like we said, we're going to live out real life moments through this journey of medical parenting, special needs parenting, stroke recovery, medical trauma recovery, and PTSD. Like, we're going to live that out on this microphone. And if that looks like, you know, the episode plan changes because something happened or because it's real in the moment, I feel like that would bring the most value to the listeners to hear from the front lines. This is not a podcast where we are talking about healing after the fact.
Yeah.
We are like in it right now.
Yep.
We're not healed. And we don't know when we're gonna be healed. We are healing, but we're still treading water. You know, we've come up with a motto: surviving the wave without going under. That's where we're at, and we're going to do that right here on this podcast.
Yeah.
And you know, if that means that one week something is heavy because that's what is happening that week, then that's what we're going to talk about. And with that being said, though, we're still always going to play our fun game where Rachel wins in the court of law as it pertains to like just being right about everything. And so like making sure that we include laughter. But in all seriousness, laughter, comedic relief, I it's just really important to me.
Agreed.
So if you can't laugh about it, if you can't laugh about the situation that you're in or yourself, laugh at yourself, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
So you got to find some way to find joy. And for everybody that may not be comedic relief, but that is for us.
Yep, that's right.
So, and I have a feeling a lot of special needs parents or medical parents or whatever, trauma survivors, whatever, dark humor is probably their go-to.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yep.
That's all I got. Socials down below.
Yep.
Don't click out just yet. Just please, 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 if you're listening and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal. And
that's a lot.
I know, right? It's slow going. So y'all subscribe.
Yeah.
You know, we want to get this out, you know, for other people.
100%.
Y'all help us out.
Yeah. Well, we want to help as, you know, back and forth, two-way street.
100%. Build community for ourselves, bring community to others. Like find our people.
Yep.
Find our people. That's the best way I can say it. So, all right. I'm done.
Me too. Sounds good. Oh, I got an idea for next week.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I'll tell you after this.
Oh. Well.
Save you some material.
Gonna leave us on a cliffhanger.
That's right.
Getting good at this thing.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Thank you. Bye.